Yo, what's good? It's Drop from ProducerPolish.com. Uh, got the session lined up here. I wanted to go over delays and kind of like the basics of delays and how I use them. Um, Definitely one of the four essential main effects that you should be using on pretty much every song. You don't have to use delays on every song, but usually you can find at least one spot. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to go over the quick basics here. I got my delay up here. There's going to be a ton of different delays that you can use. I tend to go for the more straightforward delays, just like all my other effects. I just like straightforwardness. I like getting to the point. But for the main part, all delays are going to have some type of time, or sometimes it'll be in milliseconds. This particular one is synced up to my beat of the song, so I can turn it on and off. But when you use a delay, you want to always have it in time with the music. If your delay isn't in time with the music or whatever you're doing, then unfortunately your delay isn't going to sound as good as it could be. You know what I'm saying? The only time that I've seen out of sync delays kind of work is like maybe on like when you hosted a mixtape. You know what I mean? They'll put these crazy delays on, but even then, if they could make their delay the same time as whatever song they're talking on, it's gonna be 100 times better. It's gonna sound way better. So have your delays in time. Please have your delays in time. Another big knob is the feedback, and that's just basically how many delays you're gonna have. You know what I mean? So how long is that tail gonna be? How long is that echo gonna last before it dies out? Is basically your feedback. I usually leave it right around the 50% or whatever the normal feedback level is. I usually tend to have at least, I would say, a half a bar to a bar of delays before it's totally out. You know what I mean? Before it's totally gone. But some cases I'll have more. It all depends on the space on your track. Like, you want your delays to ride that extra space, like fill in those extra spaces between words sometimes, things like that. Mix knob, I'm sure you've seen the mix knob and a lot of other effects, and that's just basically how much signal you're using is the delay. So I have it on 100%. So anytime signal runs through this delay plugin, it's going to be 100% of the affected sound. So it's not going to have combination of the normal sound and the delayed sound. It's just going to be 100% of the delayed sound, and you should be using your delay here on an aux bus. If you haven't been using buses or sends, then definitely go check out my video on signal flow and buses. And it's the proper way to do things, and that's why my mix knob is at 100%, because I'm controlling the level with my aux in. So that's the big thing. This particular delay has some extra features, but you don't always need these extra features because you can always pull up other plugins. Like, I have my low and high pass filters here. If I didn't have these, I would just come up here and I would put an EQ on my delay track after my delay, and I would EQ my delay. That's really important. Make sure you're EQing everything. You know what I'm saying? Make sure it's fitting in that right space. I have an envelope here, which is basically if my mix knob here was at 0, then as soon as the signal gets into the delay, it's going to start delaying. But I have it set just slightly late, so that way it's not picking up the very first word. It's just kind of riding on the ends of the lines. Sometimes I'd set this a lot closer to like minus 100% or minus 50%. I'm usually all over the place. Not every delay is going to have an envelope. It's not always the most important thing, but it's nice to have if you do have it. You know what I'm saying? Because you can really create nice delays that are just kind of like breathing with the song. They're not the exact replicas being echoed. It's kind of like, I mean, just the ends of the lines and just riding with it. So that's really important. I mean, stereo width is basically, if you're running a stereo track, let's say I have vocals panned out left and right, and I'm running both of those vocals to the delay, or let's say I have a nice piano, and it's, you know what I mean, pianos are usually in stereo, they should be in stereo, and my particular delay, maybe I don't want the delay to be as wide as the actual recording. I might take the stereo width out and put it at 0, so that way the actual original is nice, big, you know what I mean, a big sound, you know what I mean, in both speakers, left and right, but then the delay might bring it back more to the center and just kind of delay in the center of your sound. You mean your soundscape, basically your sound stage. So keep that in mind. But you're always going to have extra little things like this depending on the plugin that you use. No matter what program, whether it's Pro Tools, FL Studio, Logic, any of those, you're going to have these extras. But the main knobs there, the one that's going to sync it in time, how much feedback you have, things like that. Really, those are the main two that you really need to pay attention to and get right the first time, because all these other ones you don't need 100%. And then even if you don't have your EQ, you can go ahead and add it in as a plugin later. So those are the basics of a delay. Yeah, I got this track. It's another Drew G track lined up, and they have Melissa here singing on the chorus. And as you can see, what I normally do is I'll actually pick out the words that I want delayed. So right now I have this automation line running. If you don't know what automation is, I'll definitely have a video on that up really soon, going over automation. It's one of the more advanced techniques. You know, before I used to just, years ago I used to just put a delay on and just let it rock and kind of mix it in. And sometimes you can get a really nice effect like that. You know what I'm saying? And just letting the echoes ride out in the background. But in the long run, you're going to want to be able to pick out certain words that you want to be delayed. So it's important to pick and choose what's getting delayed and not just delay everything. A delay isn't always an effect you just want to throw on. If I'm doing like a guitar solo, I might just throw in a delay and leave it as is. But especially with vocals, especially when you're trying to create a song and create creative, when you're going in and making creative things to listen to and creative ways to fill up the beat and the space, you want to automate your delays, and you want to pick and choose where they're going to happen. So I'll play this track real quick and let you hear kind of how I automated this stuff here. So took the beat out so you could hear it a little bit better. Let me play it one more time for you. So you can see it's just at the ends of her lines here that I want echoed, and see these spaces here. I wanted to fill those spaces up a little bit. So that's why I automated on just those specific words. And it really helps to bring the whole thing to life a little bit more. Like if I were to run a delay on this whole audio track here, on her whole chorus, then it's going to get a little bit much. It's going to be kind of muddy. It's going to have everything jam-packed into one. But by telling my delay where it should actually be turning on and off, that's basically what this is doing, is turning on and off my delay. I'm getting more specific to really exactly how I want it to sound and where I want the delays to go. So keep that in mind. You want to automate your delays. It's one of the most important things for the delays, is to pick and choose where exactly you want them to line up. So keep your delays in time, keep experimenting with different delays, and make sure you're picking and choosing where you want your delays to go. And yeah, I think that's about it for this one. Just a quick basic overview. I mean, delays really aren't too crazy technical, but we'll get into more advanced uses of it on other videos and things like that. So hopefully this one helps you. Definitely like the video, subscribe to the channel, send me a message, and yeah, we'll keep going from here. Appreciate you checking out the video. Peace.